and that you are drawing to yourself future experiences, but you have to realize there's a delay. Like, we're in the physical. So what you want and when you get it, there's usually a time delay. And the key is staying in that knowing that you already have it through the delay.
Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine. You should hit me with the splash gun so I cool down.
Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's Case with Everyday Masters. I usually don't make videos in the morning. I'm not really a morning person. But I woke up this morning, I was like, I really wanted to shoot this video because yesterday I got an email from one of my clients, and she was kind of going through a very challenging, difficult time right now. And I would imagine a lot of people are with things that are going on in the world. But as I was reading her email, it reminded me of this moment in my life. And so I responded to her email with this story, but I was thinking, maybe I should just go ahead and make a video on this. It was back in 2007, and I was working for myself. I was selling my inventions that I had created, and man, I really wasn't making any money. I was making probably the least amount of money that I've ever made in my life. I was living in a really small whatever home in like a whatever neighborhood. It wasn't really where I wanted to be living, and it wasn't the house that I really wanted to be living in, and I wasn't driving the car that I really, all the superficial things, but I just really wasn't happy. And I had made so many bad decisions with my inventions, that I don't know, I was just really frustrated at the time, because if I would have made other decisions with my business, I would have been just maybe retired. And so that was kind of eating at me too. And I had a 2-year-old, and my wife had just given birth to our second child. And I don't know, it was kind of it wasn't crazy difficult, but it wasn't one of my favorite memories. But that's when I started realizing, I don't know how I first came across the information that we're creating our life, and that our thoughts and emotions actually leave our body and go out and attract to us future experiences. So when I first heard about that information, it really resonated with me. I could see the beliefs that I have, and I could see how I was creating my life. So I figured I would just go ahead and change those beliefs and see what happened. So I think back in time, I even had like a vision board, and I started putting pictures of really beautiful homes and like these beautiful experiences, vacations and things like that on my vision board. And every day I would my intent that I would put out into the universe was I would be so grateful that these things already happened. I thought I understood how we are creating our life. And so I did this daily for, I don't know, at least a couple months. And actually I had a couple really small, I had a couple really small manifestations right off the bat, and it made me realize, wait a second, I should be asking for bigger things. Like one of the things I remember, I went into Target with my wife and my children, and we're looking. I was like, man, I want a hat, dude. I want like a really cool hat. I don't have any cool hats. And so I went around, I'm looking, and of course it's Target, dude, you're not gonna probably find anything super cool. I think I might have found one cool hat at Target in my life, but I didn't really find anything really cool. And then I was like, you know what? I want a thermos for my coffee in the morning. You know what I mean? I want like a really cool aluminum kind of mug-ish / thermos. And so I went over in the Target aisle, and I'm looking, and I started seeing some, and at the time they were like, maybe they were like $25. And I remember thinking, like, I'm not going to pay $25 for a mug. Like, I don't know. Especially when you're not making money, you're not going to pay $25 for a mug. So, and I remember I left, and I remember like later, it was probably like a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, and I was getting ready to go to this trade show. I'm a little sidetracked here. I'm getting to the gist of the story, but this is like a little lead up. I was getting ready to go to this trade show to sell the products that I was inventing, and right before I was getting ready to go, I was like, oh, I'm gonna check the mail before we go to the airport. I went out, I checked the mail, and there's a box to me. And I was like, wow, I didn't order anything. So I opened up, and I'll be damned if it isn't an aluminum coffee mug, really, really cool, that says Guru written on it. And I was like, oh my God, like why would I get this? Who sent this? What, like I didn't really think much about it. But, I was like, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So, put it away. We go to the airport. I get into Vegas. I go to Vegas. I set up my booth. And then when I'm done setting up my booth, I'm walking out and I see this guy. I don't know this guy, but we just start talking. And we're just talking about his products and my products. And I was getting ready to leave. And he goes, hey, wait a second. He goes, here, let me give you one of these. And he hands me this hat. And this hat was so cool. It was like a trucker style hat that had this really insane tree on it that was embroidered, and it was made of hemp, and it was just really cool. For me at the time, it was a really cool hat. And I was like, wow, dude, thanks. And I remember thinking, I was like, wow, I actually kind of put out into the universe that I wanted like a new hat, and I wanted like this thermos. And then all of a sudden they just came to me, and I started thinking, wow, dude, I might want to start thinking about bigger things than like a thermos and like, a hat. So that's when, I started this vision board, and I was picturing this beautiful house. And so I did that for a couple months. And I remember I was with my family, coming back from the store. And, when you have a little one, man, there's a lot going on. You got the car seat, and you got the strollers, and you got everything. And so I remember we came back, and we were kind of tired. The kids were kind of like a little bitchy. And I remember we came back, and right when we came back, there's an eviction notice on my door. And I'm like, dude, what is this? So I read it, and I have 30 days to be out of my house. I am absolutely pissed. I'm livid, dude. I called the owner of the house. I'm like, hey, dude, what's going on with this? I have like a 2-month-old kid, I have, family, like I have no money coming in. Like, what the hell is going on? He goes, oh yeah, man, my bad. I haven't made a payment for the mortgage in like 9 months. Sorry about that. And I'm thinking like, dude, sorry about that. So so what do? You can't, like, what are you gonna do? So immediately I go on Craigslist and I start looking for a new place to live because I have to be out of my house. So I start looking on Craigslist, and right off the bat, I see this advertisement for this house in Niwot, Colorado, which was one of the nicest, I think it's the richest zip code in Colorado. It's in between Boulder and Longmont. And I see this advertisement for this house, but it's not really for rent. What they're doing is the house is for sale, and they're looking for stagers. They're looking for people with nice furniture to go into the house, set the house up, and while it's being shown, to sell the house. So you bring your furniture there, and you're really you got to keep your place crazy clean all the time, which, if you have 2 kids at the time, keeping your place clean, that is a pain. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so it's probably the worst idea that I could have ever, like, I don't even know why I even went and looked at the place. But I drove out, And as soon as I pulled onto that, as soon as I pulled in the little driveway, I just knew that I had to live here. There was just this overwhelming feeling, but it didn't really make sense because maybe they were going to sell the house in like a month or 2 months. I had no idea. They could probably sell the house as I'm packing up my stuff to move in. But there was something about me. I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just do this. And plus, it was like about a $700,000 house, and the rent was $1,200 a month. So that's a pretty smoking deal. So I was like, man, let's just do it, and we'll figure it out later. So we move in, and I guess the lady was kind of like a bitch. I don't know. I just kind of, she was so cool and into herself and how many houses they move. And I don't know. I just really don't dig that kind of like the vibe that she was putting out. But I was like, okay, man, you know, this will work for now. We're in a hell of a lot better place than we were in this little crappy house in this shitty area. So a month later, I get this phone call. And it's from the owner of the house. And we're not supposed to talk. The lady said, you're not supposed to talk to the people that own the house. Like, they're the middleman. Like, you know, I'm not supposed to contact him. He calls me and he's like, hey, dude, I really don't like these people that are in charge of staging my house. There's something about them I'm not into. I really love you guys. Is there any way we could work out a deal where you could just rent the house from me? And I was like, yeah, of course. While it's still for sale. I was like, yeah, absolutely. He goes, I don't know how much. How about we go like $900 a month? I'm like, okay. I think I can swing $900 a month. And at the time, I really didn't have much money coming in, so it was like this gift from the universe to live in this incredible home where at a rate that I could actually afford. So we lived there for probably about 3 months. We'd have showings not much, man. Like, you know, maybe once every 3 weeks we'd have a showing. And then about 3 months later, he says, you know what? I'm gonna take this house off the market. You guys, I just want to rent to you guys. You guys are taking care of the house. I appreciate the fact that you look after the house and you take care of the house. And do you know that we ended up living at that amazing home for 7 years? For 7 years. And you know what's even better? Here's what's even better. Is that place, it was on 2 acres and had this pole barn. It had this barn that was about 2,000 square feet. And it was insulated and everything. And you know that while I was there, I came up with an idea for a new business. And within 6 months of coming up with that idea, I started making more money than I'd ever made in my entire life. I don't know, I just find that ironic because I really couldn't have done that job in any other house. It kind of had to be that place. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, when you understand that your thoughts and your emotions are leaving your body, and you're putting out, I need change. I need change in my life. This is not working. And you imagine that change, and you're thankful that that change has already happened. Then you better expect some changes in your life. If you're living in a crappy home and you want to live in a nicer home, then something's going to happen. Because how can you put out into the universe, I want to live in a beautiful contemporary home, and you're not? Dude, something's going to happen. You cannot continue to live in that because it doesn't work. So when I got this lady's email, I just thought, I just saw that she was talking about how she really was living, she was really working in a very hostile environment. And that when this COVID-19 thing happened, they furloughed her, and which gave her plenty of time to just like, self-heal, just do whatever she needed to do. And now she had just found out that she was fired. And right when I heard that, I just thought of that time when I was putting out to the universe that I lived in a beautiful contemporary home, and then I came home to find the little shitty home that I was living in. I was being evicted from. I didn't see the big picture at that time. I didn't understand how perfect that was, and that I had to be forced to leave, to move on to a new life, a new frontier. And you know that I have been very fortunate to have lived in amazing homes ever since then, and I have not owned any of those homes. I have not. I lived on the beach in this amazing place in the Yucatan of Mexico. I didn't own that home. In fact, I paid so little for that home, it was absolutely ridiculous. We lived there for 3 years, and I was paying 10,000 pesos a month. That's about $500 a month. So, which is really good, because that's what I needed, because I'm a healer. And, unless you write books and do things like that, healers don't make much money, man. You really don't. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to step through right now. I still have these limited things about money that I can feel, I can feel them, and I'm working them out. But I don't stress about money, but I know that in my future I have more money coming. And so I'm working on my things as we're speaking. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting, I just wanted to make this video, because when you start understanding that you control your life and that you are drawing to yourself future experiences, but you have to realize there's a delay. Like, we're in the physical. So what you want and when you get it, there's usually a time delay. And the key is staying in that knowing that you already have it through the delay. That is really crucial. So, okay, man, I love you guys, and I was thinking maybe I'm going to start doing more videos. Not videos about my stories, but just reading like maybe little parts of books that have really inspired me to step into who I am, and to own who I am, and to see how who I am, just my little flavor, is necessary in the world. And hopefully that will help you realize that your flavor, your very specific, unique flavor, is so needed in this world. It's time to shine your light. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll see some of you in the field for my session soon. Peace.
It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Got that DJ playing music everybody wants to hear, yeah. It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Everybody wants a ride in the water.